The easiest way to invest in real estate without buying property. That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. I'm breaking down how accredited investors can diversify into real estate without owning a single property. No tenants, no toilets, no headaches, just predictable cash flow backed by real assets. So the reality is direct ownership of real estate is not always ideal. There's a lot of time that can go into it, identifying the property. So just upfront to get a hold of the property, and then ongoing, you've got to manage it. Inevitably, there are repairs that have to take place. Everything breaks sooner or later. The roof goes bad, the windows go bad, the sewer line breaks, the water line breaks, whatever it happens to be. They all break sooner or later, and inevitably, the expenses tend to come at inopportune times. So there's some volatility and unpredictable expenses, really unpredictable timing of expenses that takes place. So let's talk about indirect ownership and what that actually means. Well, you can indirectly be involved in real estate investing through lending just exactly like a bank. And debts get paid first, right? The bank is the one who gets paid first. And it helps passive investors because it is truly passive and it's predictable, steady cash flow. And that largely is done through conservative underwriting. There's three really good ways to be able to invest without having direct ownership. One of them is debt funds. Debt funds or co-lending, as it's often called, where we're coming together with a handful of people and a general partner or manager is handling the underwriting, handling the whole business of doing this. You're ultimately going to underwrite that manager, their track record, their history, understand what it is that they lend on, why they lend on it, and what their liquidity options look like. And these are typically fairly liquid, so you're not tied up for years on end. Another one is private REITs. Private REITs can do both debt or equity. So a debt component of a REIT has a lot of benefits there. Same type of thing as a debt fund. A private REIT just generally ends up being much, much larger. As a result, sometimes your returns can suffer, but not always. It's something to evaluate and get in deeper. And the last thing is private notes. Looks a lot like the first two options, a debt fund or a private REIT. With exception here, you end up with more control. You're the one originating these notes or buying these notes from other people who originated them. Far more hands-on, but the benefit there is that you may end up with certainly more control and you may end up with a higher rate of return. Some people like that, and others obviously tend to go a different direction if they want to be truly passive. Midwest has a hidden advantage. The Midwest markets are stable. They're kind of boring, is where you kind of set it and forget it. Real estate doesn't see all the highs like the coast do. And then certainly here in the Midwest, we don't see the lows like the coast do. Steady rental demand or volatility at the end of the day. So if you want to learn more about predictable returns backed by Midwest real estate, well, I've dropped a link below. You can watch a video there.